Our next speaker is a two-term member of the North Andover School Committee. Now, you might be asking yourself what a school committee member is doing here. Well, he's going to tell you what he's doing here. He's co-founder of the Town Taxpayer Alliance, along with Ted, who you heard earlier. He's a columnist and co-founder of the Valley Patriot. He's a columnist for and a co-founder of the Valley Patriot newspaper. He has helped fight for the homeowner and the property owner in North Andover. He also is an adjunct professor at UMass, Lowell. Lowell is where I live, and I've met Chuck there. So again, on two counts, he's a teacher, he's on the school committee. Why is he here supporting question one? He's going to tell you. He has a master's degree and a PhD in aeronautics and astronautics from MIT and a BS in engineering from Cornell in physics, engineering physics. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chuck Ormsby.
You woke up this morning?
Thank you very much, Kamal. Boy, it's wonderful to see everybody here. I was going to ask everybody if they got the spirit of Sam Adams here, but I know after the previous speakers that's probably true of everybody. Just a quick couple comments that were not prepared before I got here. One is the second most fun thing I've done today. The first, of course, is listening to all of these wonderful speakers. But the second most fun thing I've been able to do is to walk on those tax forms over there. And thank God that that's where they're going to stay, hopefully, on the floor after November 4th. As Kamal mentioned, I'm on the North Andover School Committee, been there for about 5 years, 5.5 years now. And one of the things you get to learn when you're on a school committee is you become familiar with what the politicians and the special interests do to frighten the public to get more and more of their hard-earned money. In fact, that's why I ran for school committee in the first place, was just because of those kind of scare tactics. What I want to take the couple minutes that I have today is I want to contrast family budgeting versus what the state does when it looks like there might be an income reduction in the future. Now, you all have your own families. If you find out that you're going to have less income next year, what do? Well, you go sit down around the kitchen table and you say, well, look, what are the least important things that we're spending money on? And let's cut those so that, guess what? We can reserve the available income we have for the most essential things for our family. That makes sense, doesn't it? Is that what you would do? Is that what the government does? No, of course not. What the government does, instead of sitting around a kitchen table, they sit around a big mahogany table, and what do? They figure out what the most essential services are that the people want. And then they send the special interests out to all the communities to scare the bejesus out of everybody that those things aren't going to be funded. These are just scare tactics. Crime will soar, schools will close, kids won't have books. That's what they do. It's just a cynical ploy to maintain their special privileges. Now, it's obvious to all of us that the most essential services are the things that should be funded. But let's just look at the two biggest ones, or most prominent ones, education and public safety. So how much do we spend on public education, government, statewide? Well, if you look at K to 12 education, kindergarten to 12th grade, government in Massachusetts spends about $10 billion. But guess what? Only $1.8 billion of that is from the state budget. The rest is local expenditures. Now, you can add to that higher education. Massachusetts, the state government, spends $1.2 billion for public higher education. Those two numbers are easy to add together. 1.8, 1.2 adds to $3 billion. Easy number to remember. Hold on to that. That's what the state spends on education statewide. And by the way, it includes early childhood development and all the rest of that kind of stuff. So what about public safety? Well, let's take public safety and homeland security, this new term, add that all together. What does the state government of Massachusetts spend on that? It's about $1.3 billion. So the math is kind of easy here. $3 billion for education of all types, $1.3 billion for public safety and homeland security, a total of $4.3 billion. Now, there is a very reasonable question to ask. will there be enough money after question 1 for the state to continue to fund these essential services? Well, as what you heard earlier from Carla, the state after, I like that word, after question 1 passes, let's make sure we get the emphasis on the passes, after question 1 passes, the state will have $35 billion to spend. So that $4.3 billion is a whopping 12% of what the state will have to spend. 12%, let's see, that's $1 out of every 8. So if every $8 the state has to spend, 1 of them is needed to cover those essential services. So I've got a suggestion for our state legislature, and I hope everybody here contacts their state rep, state senator, and says, look, this is what I want you to do when question 1 passes, and it will. I want you to sit around that mahogany table you've got, and I want you to find the most essential services, obviously including public safety and education, and I want you to fund those first. And when you're done funding those, then spend the other 7 of those $8. Prioritize the other needs. And guess what? When you've spent the last $1, stop. Now your state legislator or representative, state senator is probably going to tell you, oh, we can't do that. Well, we got a simple message for you. Do it or get out. It's time for the people of Massachusetts to stop being frightened by the special interests. On November 4th, we have a chance to get rid of the income tax permanently, keep those lousy forms on the ground, and have that $3,700 in our own pockets to take care of our families and our needs. November 4th is it. Let's do it.